Fingerstyle Thursday. Hello, hello. This week we're actually going to talk about our left hand for a change, and we're talking about basically hand finger strengthening, okay? All we're actually doing is running down an A major scale, but I've harmonized it in the sexiest way possible. So it sounds a bit nicer. I'm going to talk way more about that actually next week, so we'll do that. Today is all about basically just hand shapes and how we can strengthen in order to make certain chords a lot easier to play. Now, whenever we play anything, or the biggest problem that we always face on the left hand is this knuckle here. When we're playing, we're trying to engage that knuckle as much as possible so it's really bent. However, it can start off quite wobbly and flattens a lot. Now that is the reason why a lot of chords such as the E chord, which has been a little bit of buzz this week about that chord, that's why that chord, for example, causes so much bother, because basically in order to play it nice, cleanly and comfortably, you need all of your knuckles to be ridiculously bent like that, so they create a nice bridge underneath so you don't mute any strings. Okay, now engaging these is the hardest part, but is the most rewarding part, because then you don't mute any strings and everything is nice and clean. So the ultimate test of being able to do that is basically, for today's exercise, we're going to keep our A and E strings open the entire time, and then we're going to give you some lovely stretches to be playing. And we need to keep all the strings not muted. Now, whenever we have to play anything with quite a large stretch on it, basically thumb position on your left hand is very important. It needs to be right behind the neck, and it always has to be basically not facing the headstock. That is always the biggest problem we see. It's basically facing the opposite way. So if my headstock's going that way, then my thumb is almost pointing to the ceiling. You won't be able to see it, but that's the way it's pointing, right there. So with that in mind, what we're going to do, our first shape, we're going to play our index finger on the 6th fret, and then we're going to put our pinky on the 9th fret. Now again, like I said, we need to engage these knuckles because the A and E strings need to be kept open. On the right hand, for the entire piece, we are playing a 4-3-2-1. 1 E and 2 E and pattern. So just try and get that shape used to first. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and get comfortable. Okay, so every time that we hit the beat of 3, 1 E and 2 E and 3, we're going to add another finger. So for 1 E and 2 E and we stay there, but then on 3, I'm going to add my middle finger to the 7th fret on the 4th string. You'll notice I'm not removing that index finger, that's because I need it for the beat of 4. 3 E and 4 E and there's no point getting rid of it, and also it basically helps with stability of your hand. So if we try that bar, we go 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and Now you'll notice if you watch my hand, it doesn't look like there's too much change there, but my middle finger is being added there. They're just all hovered, and again, those knuckles are engaged to have nice clean chords underneath. Okay, so our next shape is a little bit more of a stretch, so I'm being very cruel to you today, but it's all about strengthening that left hand. So we need our index finger on the 4th fret on the G string, and then we're going to have our pinky on the 8th fret on the C string, still keeping an open E and A. Okay, so we're still going to do the same thing. So on the beat of 3, we're going to add a finger, but this time it'll be the middle finger that drops down on the 6th fret on the G string. So we will have 1 E and 2 E and then on 3 I drop down my middle, index doesn't move, 3 E and 4 E and Now ideally we try and basically survive that stretch there between your index and your middle, but if you are, if it does feel painful, then we absolutely just give it a rest. Now, obviously I say, try and keep that there, but there's a big rule in practicing an instrument. If it really, really, really hurts, please listen to your body and don't do it. Okay, just stop. Anytime you feel like an immense, not even immense, a good amount of pain, like, oh wow, that really hurts, then listen to your hand and give it a break, okay? It's really important to obviously everything hurts when you start to play it, but there's a big difference between, oh, that aches a little, and oh, that really hurts my hand. If you get that, oh, that really hurts my hand thing, then you just, basically your hand's way of saying, please stop, I need a rest. And you really, really, really should listen to that, okay? No playing through it, no trying to be brave about that. That's not it. Give yourself a break as soon as we feel pain. Most important thing, because otherwise you can end up damaging your hands. And mate, what's the point in that then, okay? So any pain, try that, but ideally, we try and keep that there. Right, so our next shape is technically the same, but just moved down the fretboard. So this time it'll be the 2nd fret on the G string, and then the 6th fret on the C string. And it's going to be the same setup. We're going to drop our middle finger down onto the 4th string. You could maybe get away with your ring finger if that feels more comfortable, but for me that feels like a worse stretch, but experiment and play around with it, okay? So, 1 E and 2 E and then on 3 we'll drop for me, middle finger on the G string, 4th fret, 3 E and 4 E and so the same thing as this kid, just 2 frets lower. Then our next shape is the 1st fret on G string and then 4th fret on the C string, and we will drop our middle finger on the 2nd fret G string on the beat of 3. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and Right, so we have to come from this shape next to this shape, which is basically an A sus4. Middle finger, 2nd fret G string, ring finger, 2nd fret C string. Still open A and E. Right. For these kids, basically our index finger will be on the 1st fret G string, waiting. So on the beat of 3, we'll remove our middle finger and the index finger will take over. 1 E and 2 E and remove middle, so my index is there. 3 E and reapply middle. 4 E and again. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and And then our next shape, he's a little bit cruel, but index finger on the 1st fret C string and then pinky 4th fret G string. So that one might take a little bit of work. It's not a very nice shape that way, but again, I'm being very cruel to you today. I'm just trying to test your left hand strength. So for this kid, actually we only need 1 E and 2 E and, so again that's 4 on G, 1 on C. Once we've done that twice, my middle finger is going to take over on the G string, 2nd fret, so now it's an A major chord. 3 E and 4 E and Last chord, keep your index finger on the fretboard, just move it up a fret. And then let's add our ring finger to the 4th fret G string. And then we're going to add another finger this time. Oh shit, tell me why. And we're going to add our pinky to the 4th fret A string. So we have 4, 2, 0, 4. Again, just harmonizing my A scale. And for this kid, we're going to keep this chord the same the whole way through. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and then we're going to finish just with the 1 plucking that G string. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1. You could also choose to give it a nice strum. And if you really want to resolve the piece, rather than have it hang on there, because the whole piece is an A major, strum a nice A major chord for me. Or even an A major 7, 1, 1, 0, 0. Ooh. That would also work too. Okay, super. With this one, take it nice and slow, but if you found this helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to this channel. As usual, sheets and MP3s are on Patreon every single week, as long as 2 lessons a month.